This is concept question 3.6 from chapter 2, and the question asks us or tells us that we have a country that produces pears and barley and then wants us to use the 3-point curved line drawing tool to draw a representative PPC or production possibilities curve for this country and label it PPC. So first thing we notice is they don't really give us any numbers here. So it's pretty clear they don't care that we draw any specific PPC. We don't have to know exactly what it looks like. It could be small or it could be large or whatever. They just want us to draw one that would look similar to what the actual PPC for this country might look like. So really, there are not a lot of rules here. You just have to draw a production possibilities curve. And you know from your textbook that the production possibilities curve just indicates the trade-off between one good and the other. And in this case, that's barley and pears. So how many bushels of barley can your country produce if they produce no pears, and vice versa, and then anywhere in between as they give up 1 bushel of barley, how many bushels of pears do they then gain? And again, since they don't give us the exact numbers here, we don't actually know how many bushels of pears they gain from giving up a bushel of barley. But we do know that the production possibilities curve will look something like this. It'll start on this axis. Oh, sorry, I have to click my multi-point curve tool over here, and then we know that it'll start somewhere on the barley axis at whatever number we choose to be how many bushels of barley they produce if they produce no pears, and it'll end up on the pears axis somewhere, but we need to draw a point somewhere in between here so that we end up with the nice curved shape that we're looking for a PPC, and not just a straight line. So I clicked once in the middle there somewhere, and then click again down here on this axis. And again, you can make this curve look, so that's one possibility for this answer. Another possibility, if I delete that, is it could be tiny. It could be down here. Just as long as you click 3 times, once on each axis and once somewhere in between, it really doesn't matter where you put this curve. The question just asks us to draw one that could be the representative for this country, and gives us no specific numbers. So you don't have to be specific. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just any curve that looks like this. And I want to label it PPC, right? And then second, it asks us to use the point drawing tool, which is this guy over here, to show a production point that is efficient and label it A. And remember from the textbook, one of the rules for or assumptions of a production possibilities curve is that this curve shows all the points at which all resources are being used or are employed for this country. And so on this curve, you'll remember from reading that every point that's exactly on this curve is where the economy is functioning efficiently. So I can pick anywhere on this curve, make it my point, and call it A. I'm going to move this. Whoops. I don't want to move the curve. I want to move the point. I want to move the little box with my label out of the way, which you can do whenever you see this 4 arrow thing. And you'll want to move that so that it doesn't overlap with your PPC curve here. So I want my point to be exactly on my curve, and I want to call that point A. So it's a little bit off. I'm trying to get it to be somewhere right on the curve. There we go. Now it's right on the curve, and that's point A, the efficient point, because that's really the definition of our PPC, is that it shows on a graph all of the efficient possibilities, production possibilities for an economy. The last thing it wants us to do is use the point drawing tool again to show a production point that is attainable but not efficient, and we're going to label that B. And you'll remember that everything outside this efficient curve is not attainable, because the definition of this curve, again, or one of the assumptions of this curve, is that all of our resources are employed, which means we can't employ any more resources, which means we can't make anything more than this curve. Of course, we could decide that we want to turn off one of our machines or shut down one of our factories, and we could produce somewhere in here, inside the curve, because we can always produce less than our maximum, right? We just can't produce more than our maximum. So that's what they're asking us for, is a point that is attainable. So that means it has to be less than our maximum or on our maximum, but not efficient. And if it's not efficient, that means it can't be on the maximum curve, the PPC. It has to be less than that curve. So anywhere inside here, you can put your B. So I'm going to put B here. And remember, since they don't give us specific numbers, it can be really anywhere inside the curve. As long as it's inside the curve, it's a point that's attainable but not efficient, because efficient is on the curve, attainable but not efficient is inside the curve, and unattainable is outside the curve. So now we've done parts 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to save my graph here, check answer, and we're good to go. If you have any more questions on this, feel free to stop by office hours.